Okay, so this relationship has also been swirling on social media between Bill Belichick, right here. Let me show you guys the man, the myth, the legend. The guy on the left is a NFL, well, an ex NFL football coach, former NFL coach Bill Belichick, right? That's him on the left. And the one on the right is his now girlfriend. But this photo was posted by TMZ Sports a while back, right? And this is supposedly how they met. They met on an airplane, da 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 da. At least that was their story, right? So it was kind of awkward when this question of how they met once again came back up, and it became like a whole awkward debacle. So I have the video here, but before I play the video, I'm gonna just give you guys a little breakdown of the situation, right? So, like in the photo that I showed you, that was Bill Belichick, former NFL coach Bill Belichick. He did an interview with CBS Morning's co-host Tony to promote a new book he has coming out called The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life in Football. But no one is talking about the book, child. And that's the worst case scenario, because when you on a book tour, like, you want people to talk about the book, not your personal life. But no one's talking about the book. Instead, they are talking about the awkward moment that took place when Tony asked Bill about how he met his girlfriend, and things just went left. Keep in mind, before I play the video, Bill is 73 and he is dating a 24-year-old. Her name is Jordan Hudson. Okay. How old are you, Rebecca?
Mind your business. 26.
Okay, so he's dating women that are younger than us. Let's watch this clip, ladies and gents.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
Okay, so you guys see it. The people are like, if you guys already had a story about like how you met, first of all, the fact that she interjected in the interview to be like, oh, he not answering that or we're not answering that is kind of like odd. But also, people have already said like this is a track record. This girl, well, I shouldn't say this girl, she got a name, Jordan, has kind of been seen as like controlling Bill. And people are just like, what is happening to this man? Like, it kind of gave like he didn't even know that like the photos of them together were made public on Instagram. So that's kind of what has been like spoiling around. Now he became a coach for a college football team, and photos have been released of like her being at the practices and kind of like telling people what to do. And even what's the guy from TNT, Chuck, I think his name is Chuck.
Yeah.
So Chuck also did an interview, and they asked him about Bill, and he even said like, "Oh, I'm kind of concerned because like the Bill that I know was XYZ, and now it gives like this girl is controlling this man and his future." What did you get from this little clip?
Yeah, it's weird because one, as something as small as how did y'all meet shouldn't be that big of an issue. I mean, unless y'all met in some like mysterious, like should have never met that way type of way. That's weird. but I think to me it was the pause, like when they showed like the photo of them, like the yoga pose kind of, and her.
Yeah.
I think to me, like that's what really more like made me look like it was like maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it was like the pause because he was like thinking like,
well, that's why people are like so scared. Is it like, is she feeding stuff for him to say, or like it was just all gives very weird, and like they
yeah,
already had a story of how they met. Whether it's true or not is a whole other thing, but like if you already had a made up story of how y'all met, why not just say that story? Like, why are
exactly.
you making it like you would have thought they said, oh, you are pregnant, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a story that you already had. If
And
it's fabricated.
I think also my problem is it's like I think listen, we talked about it with Shannon Sharp and we already got on him, and I'm not about to be like I'm a bash a black man and uplift a white man. Like that is never going to
Oh,
be
we
the
are not
case.
uplifting.
Yeah,
That
I
was
know.
weird.
I'm saying like this is weird. Like Shannon Sharp, his situation, minus like the lawsuit portion, like him dating younger girls is weird. But like this Bill and this girl, this is strange, right?
Yeah.
Like you and like we talked about a 20-year-old messing with a 50-plus-year-old, like
Yeah.
54-year-old, and we said that the mindsets are completely different. At 70, your
Three.
point, you like I'm not saying also I know like 70-year-olds who are sharp as a tack, but I also know some who are deteriorating, right? And it's just like to me, I'm like, where do y'all find like where do y'all think y'all meet? Like, I get it. They're
I
differences,
don't. I
like
don't.
differences attract, opposites attract, but also there's no like nothing bonds like common ground. Where is y'all common ground? Like this is where I'm saying like where in the relationship and the dynamic do y'all feel like y'all relate to one another? And like to your point, I've seen photos of them like at because we mentioned he got a job at a college or a university
Mhm.
or something like that. I see a lot of photos with them two together,
Yeah.
but I'm like, what do you have going for yourself, sis? Like, I feel like you are in every single photo,
Well,
even before
he's what she got going for himself.
but
He's
like my thing is like even at the interview, why are you sitting on the couch? Like, isn't there a green room for you to sit in? Like, what are you doing here?
yeah. He's the coach for UNC. I wanted to say that University of North
Yeah,
Carolina, Chapel Hill.
I think the whole dynamic is very strange. Even before this interview, I already looked at it like, what was the reason?
And
Like,
also, like, we're in our mid to late 20s. This girl is younger than us. I can't even fathom dating a 70-year-old. I don't care how much money you have, how much. I just don't think you can look me in the eye again, the same way I said about Shannon Sharp, and tell me. That's why I said there's a track record with these men that have status, have money. Yes, the reality is that they can get anyone that they want because there are women that are okay. Again, it's all about consent. If you are okay with just being a man's puppet because they give you everything, if it's consensual, I'm all for it, Buki. You do you. But then when it becomes like toxic, it gives weird. I hope that they're gonna be under the radar, right? Like the college football season will start probably not too long from now, and them cameras, honey, they're going to be front and center on this coach. And
exactly.
even like the university put out a statement. You know how weird that is about this whole situation? Like, she gonna have to take a step back and find something else to do with his money, because she can't be interjecting with what he trying to do at
I
the
like how
school
you
and the
spit in
football.
his money.
I mean, she probably got her own coins now. There was another article that popped up about like now she has all these real estate houses and apartments. So, girl, focus on the real estate and let your man focus on his
Yeah,
football thing.
because you too active in his lifestyle right now.
Yeah.
Like,
So on that point, let's talk. Oh my God, we've been really men heavy this week, but it is what it is. We gotta clock the T. Nick Cannon. Okay.
yes, yes. Him and his cojones. Go ahead.
Yes. So Nick Cannon says his balls, yes, are his most valuable asset after insuring them for $10 million. Okay.
Matter of fact, put him in the 100 men against the gorilla.
Girl. Oh, if it's 100 Nick Cannons, then the gorilla will win. In a recent podcast episode of Tea Time with Raven and Miranda, yes, that's Raven from That's a Raven. Nick was asked to clear up some rumors regarding a 10 million insurance policy on his testicles.
Mhm.
And let's take a listen to what he had to say, honey, because he did clear up the rumors.
That's the thing. I
You must have
personally
great
didn't.
balls.
Someone else took the insurance policy out on them. Funny enough, I mean, it started off like, yo, this would be a good joke, but we really went through with it. Dr. Squatch, who is like, they're known for like, you know, manscaping and all that stuff. They were like, yo, a lot of celebrity women are insuring their legs in case something
Yeah.
goes wrong.
Heidi
or-
Klum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what's your most valuable asset, Nick? I was like, my balls.
Insure them.
And you know, I got the insurance policy in my office. It's like it's
So
legit.
how do you call in that insurance
Hilarious.
claim? Like, what happens?
We actually went back and forth with this because it's like, all right, it's $5 million per testicle. And like if I happen to lose one, you know, all the money goes to my kid.
Rebecca, take it away. You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you. I Nick Cannon has always been real corny to me, right? I feel like I used to like to see him all wilding out and stuff like that, but the moment he started thinking that he needed to create his own legion of children, I'm like, oh, you real corny, you real loose with your sperm, and it's really giving like you need to slow down a little bit. Insuring your balls is real, like, sir.
I mean, kudos to the fact that this is not coming out of his pocket. Someone else brought it up to his attention and they said, would you be willing to do this? And he sure enough agreed to it. So this is coming out of someone else's pockets, but just the idea of it is just so weird. And after this clip was posted online, one of his baby mothers like reshared it or said something along the lines of like, you haven't seen your kid in a month. And it's just like, okay, but I just don't get it. But again, I'm not gonna clock no one's money.
Honestly,
And I just don't like how, like, I think being a parent is a big, it's like a big responsibility. You know what I mean? And I know that him having his testicles being insured doesn't take away from him being a father, but like, I don't know. It's just weird.
so one, I feel like the other side of it, this conversation is way outside of my tax bracket because I couldn't even sit there and tell you I got the money to insure my coochie pooch like at all. But if y'all
But if
don't,
someone else came up to you and be like, "Oh, what's your most valuable asset?" and you say your cooch patooch, and they were willing to insure your cooch patooch for 10 million, you saying yes, right?
I mean, if I can't insure the whole me, a part of me, sure. You
Right.
know, but also I feel like I don't got the same amount of mileage as he do on his like the whole lower half. Like he got way more mileage than
Yeah.
any of us. And like to your point, right? So his other baby mother saying you haven't seen your child in months or whatever like that. This was one of the problems that a lot of people were saying when they said Nick Cannon was going to like Nick Cannon's having all these children. One of the main things we have been saying is you cannot spread your time evenly amongst all your children. If you want to be an active father, and like you say you are going to be, also we're not in his life. We don't know what his schedule looked like because on top of him being a father, he also got businesses and different investments and different stuff that he has to look at also. But what I'm saying is like to be an active parent is being there emotionally, mentally, physically. And if you already are lacking physically, then you can't really be there all the time emotionally and mentally. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like this is one of the issues that we were always saying when we were saying like Nick Cannon's having all these children, because it's like you can't be as active as you say or claim that you would like to be because you're gonna fall short in one way. Some children might get more time with you because of location and everything like that compared to your other children. So it's like I think as a society, as a generation, I know we've seen older generations having 10, 15, 11 kids and stuff like that, but that was with your significant other, or like there was some type of dynamic within that, right? I just feel like everybody's just having kids and like seeing what happens. And it's just like the moment that we have these people who are not active in these children's lives, that's when you want to sit there and go on social media and bash. But like, what from the dynamic that y'all had made you think that this was going to be a conducive type of partnership when it came to having children? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I 1,000% understand. I feel like when by the time you got to baby mother number 4, like we have to, again, life happens.
Right.
But if I like if a new baby mother comes out from Nick Cannon, I am so sorry, but I wouldn't feel bad for that woman if he doesn't show up and is there and isn't a present father, because look at all, you know what I mean? Again, the track record is already there. And if you are willing to just have a child with somebody just because they have the funds, and raising a kid is more than just money, because that's not enough. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you're able to have 30 kids no. You need to be present. The dailies, like when your kid comes home from school, helping them, like how was your day at school? Like being present sometimes is more valuable than money.
Yeah,
Because it's
honestly.
like anyone could give you money, well, not anyone, but you know what I mean? Like it's just different.
Where they
So yeah, that's
I mean,
that's
congratulations to him. Your balls are insured.
they are in fact valuable. If someone gets a piece,
But
just know he will get his coins.
the same way you insured your balls, where a lot of the sperm that help create a children are your physical children who are out here. Are they insured with time? Are they insured mentally? Are they insured emotionally? Financially? Yeah, sure. But
He
yeah,
says that the money from the insurance would go to his children, not him.
right. That's if something happened to him, sir. You still kicking and breathing right now. So that even then, you still, if something happened to you physically, you gonna sit there and not be there too. So it's just like, yeah,
Tomato.
right. You not
On
really
to
not doing much to me.
On to the Knicks.
Yes. So this is a conversation that I've been seeing on TikTok. This had happened. There was a post that was posted like in January, and like the conversation was basically brought up again.
Mhm.
So basically, hold on, this thing is acting up. Got it. So TikToker Jalen Noble addressed online rumors claiming that his Texas property that he shares with, who's his girlfriend, and she's also a popular TikToker. Her name is Monet McMichael, was once a plantation and slave quarters. So the speculation arose after Monet posted a workout video that she filmed in their home gym, which some users believe was converted into a slave quarters barn. So Jalen clarified in a TikTok video that while the guest house on the property was built in 1850, it was an early settler's cabin later turned into a hunting lodge with no ties to slavery. He further explained that the barn was built in 1999 and the main house in 2016. Jalen emphasized the pride that he feels as a Black homeowner of a historic property. While Monet has not directly responded to the backlash, she reposted Jalen's explanation, and many fans have since come to their defense, calling for apologies from critics who spread the false claims. So basically, when they bought this house, he was showing it off, and he was just like, when he was showing it off, he didn't really know what one of the locations was in the back of the home, right? And that from there, mind you, when I saw this video back, I want to say in January, maybe February, I saw a lot of people saying like, y'all are trying to play in people's face, like this is like a play, like a clearly a location that was owned for slaves back in the day and stuff like that. And then once he came out with this and he said that he got somebody, I have the video, I'm gonna show it to you guys. But once he said that he got like somebody to investigate and give them like a real understanding of the property and everything like that, they're saying the people that he hired are saying this has no ties to slavery. So all the backlash that they were getting before, fans are now saying to the same people who were sitting there running their mouths saying, oh, y'all were saying that this was a slave property. How dare you guys buy this? Especially as people who have like, you know, Black heritage within you and stuff like that. Like, why would y'all even buy something like that? And now they're saying y'all, as loud as the disrespect is, the apology needs to be just as loud. Now let me play the video for you. Where is it? Oh, it's right here.
So I'm currently in my renovation era. I think it's been a lot of fun to renovate my current home gym, but now we're getting ready to renovate my guest house, and I want to take you with me. And I've started the interior decorating process that I want to show you, but I also want to talk about what I plan to do with my guest house and the history behind it. And for the history, I hired a genealogist and reached out to an architectural historian to tell me everything I need to know about this cabin. First, this was an early settler's cabin, which converted to a hunting lodge and now currently serves as my guest house. I also found out that someone with the last name Noble used to live here, which I thought was pretty cool. And with this house being built in 1850, I do want to acknowledge the fact that I feel an overwhelming sense of empowerment every time I see it. There are no ties to slavery on this property, but as a black man, I am able to own a house that 175 years ago we were not able to. And it sits in the middle of my courtyard, which has my gym and my main house in it, so I'm excited to kind of update this guest house to make it a little more presentable. And I think that starts with refreshing the porch. It needs some new wood to make it a little more modern. And this is the side of the guest house you'll see first, so I think adding some trellises with some star jasmines going up it will really soften it. And for the interior, this is the living room. The kitchen is still a work in progress. The stovetop doesn't currently work, but still got the espresso machine. And this is the loft, which I think feels like a bedroom. And I kind of feel like I'm playing real life Sims because I see a house like this and think there's so many small details that I want to change that'll make a huge difference. Like the ones I explain are adding windows, changing the doors. I think eventually I'd love to take it down and kind of extend my house to add more space for a family. But for now, the next few years, this is the guest house.
So my whole thing when I saw all of this, I remember when I first saw it and I was like, when people are saying, oh, this looks like it's tied to slavery and stuff like that, I just kept scrolling. And so now that the conversation is back, my whole thing is, right, people who are bothered so much that this possibly had connections to slavery and stuff like that, and they're like, why would you even buy a home that could have ties to that? My thing is, it's like, if it did have ties to slavery, and I trust me, I understand the importance of history and stuff like that. What did y'all want them to do? Did you want no one to buy the property ever? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you get where I'm?
Yeah, I think it's just like, honestly, and takes me back to like Asia Wilson, who is like, at this point, one of the best WNBA stars. And in her book, she talked about the importance, like she got a statue made like at South Carolina, for all her accomplishments, but it was like, it felt like an honor for her because not only did she attended a school where her grandmother wasn't even allowed to go in. So not only now did she graduate from there, but now she has a statue to, for her family to forever be ingrained in that school. And the reason why I bring that up is because if anything, wouldn't you want these slavery quarters to be owned by like Black people? Like, do you want them to be owned by more white people who might have even more ties to slavery and may still be racist? Like, you should want more Black homeowners. Like, it's already hard to get, extra money for minorities to become homeowners. It is so hard to become a homeowner. So for you to sit there and while you're in your couch, not owning a home, to be bashing someone who was able to buy a home is just like a bit weird to me. And at the end of the day, like, get in where you fit in. If you could only afford, if you could only afford this, then go ahead and do it and buy what you can. I don't really understand where the hate was coming from, because if the issue is the issue that he didn't acknowledge it, that it was like a former slave.
People were making speculations because when they first showed the house off in January,
I saw the video. I remember all of it.
Yeah, like people were making speculations.
Who cares? Who cares? That's what my question is. Like
that's what I'm saying. My whole thing is like, I'm like, even if it was that, and like the house, I believe the house is located in Texas. I'm like, I mean, it's a little, they're saying it has no connections. I don't know, because Texas. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, y'all are I feel like because people are mad that the fact that like maybe it's not because it's not them, or maybe they just choose to, like you mentioned, fit in when you get in. Like, you don't fit into that tax bracket to be able to buy your own home or nothing like that y'all feel like y'all got something to say. But it's like, even if it did have slave ties, like, Did you want no one to buy the home?
Yeah, I feel like it is misplaced anger, because the reality is that history is surrounded by all of us, right? Like, yes, we may be in the Northeast, but like, racism and slavery, it might not have been as like out there as it was in like other states, but it was happening here. So I'm sure there are certain places where I go that have ties to slavery, but I don't know about it. You know what I mean? Like, most homeowners do not buy a house and are like, oh, well, and I also need the history of all of these, like,
right.
Please. They worried about like, what's your credit score? How much do I have to put down? Like, those types of things. And I think, again, social media is a double-edged sword, because, this person does make hella money from showing his lifestyle and what he does. So people feel like they have a right to say and speak their mind and get in their business. But the reality is that I just don't understand. What do you want? Wouldn't you be happy that a Black person is able now to own what was once a slavery something? Like, I just don't like. I get it. I don't understand it. I was also seeing this, but my main thing was just like, I don't understand why. Like, what do you want him to do? And like the Monet aspect of it, this is not Monet's house.
Like, I just don't understand. And even though, like, even when people are sitting there saying like, oh, you potentially bought a house with like slave ties, I'm like, if you live in Texas, if you live in all these different areas, you live in all these different states, every place has connections, like you mentioned. So it's like, are you going to move away from Texas? Are you going to move away from this location because there's slave ties?
But slavery was a part of everywhere, all around the United States.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, so like, what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to get mad at like whoever, like who y'all going to get mad at? Like,
Instead, we should be celebrating and being happy when people are able, especially minorities, they're able to have property, because those are assets that for a very long time we weren't allowed to have. Exactly. And also, like, what's this other, I think this other family that is now like creating their own house. I think
you're talking about the Jayla Henry.
Yes. And her husband is like, I guess he's like a designer, and like he also creates videos. Like, stuff like that makes me happy, because I love seeing minorities succeed, like getting their own house, getting property, because that is hard. So when you are able to get those things done, that is something that you should be proud of. So I hate tearing people down. And maybe if you don't agree with my viewpoint, please comment down below, and maybe I'm just not understanding or seeing the full picture as to what's the problem? What do you want Jalen to do if it is in fact a home
like,
that
if
was
it did, like, if he's telling y'all it doesn't, and
but
y'all,
let's say it was, then what do you what do you
like, what do you want the next
what
step?
do you need him to do for you to feel better?
Like, I don't know.